Assalamualaikum and good day, Madam Surya Rismawati. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Muhammad Ashri. My metric number is 2022203762, and I formed the first group that will present about automobile market. Here are the fellow members that will present together with me, which is me, Haziq, Shyida Zahirah, Ummul Balqis, and Yusuf. First of all, I'd like to give you an overview of the content that we will present today at first content about introduction and purpose of study. Next, microeconomic theory, and last but not least, the conclusion and recommendation. Okay, let's go to the first topic. What is automobile? Automobile by name auto, also called motorcar or car. Usually four-wheel vehicle designed primarily for passenger transportation and commonly propelled by an internal combustion engine using volatile fuel. On January 29, 1886, Carl Benz applied a patent for his vehicle powered by the engines. The first stationary gasoline engine developed by Carl Benz was a one-cylinder two-stroke unit which ran for the first time on New Year's Eve, 1879. Benz had so much commercial success with this engine that he was able to devote more time to his dream of creating a lightweight car powered by a gasoline engine, in which the chassis and the engine form a single unit. Next topic, we will discuss about the purpose of study in automotive industry. Automobile industry is one of the key sectors where more research and developments happen in transportation economy. Every customer wants a supercar which gives extreme performance, safety, luxury, and comfort. The objective of every car maker on earth is to satisfy his customers' expectation. On the other hand, being a product powered by internal combustion engines, it is also the responsibility of OEMs to minimize emissions and stick to the emission laws set by the emission control bodies. This kind of the objective on purpose of the study, which is engine performance enhancement and emission control, passenger safety, comfort enhancement, driver assistance.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Balqis. My ID is 2022403438. And I will start with demand and factor that change demand. In economics, demand is different from desire, wish, and want. A consumer who wants to have a product or service must have the ability to buy and willingness to pay for the good or service. With a sales volume of about 500,000 motor vehicles, the Malaysian automotive industry is the third biggest among other ASEAN countries after Indonesia and Thailand. Malaysian automotive market grew by more than 40% this year after it had declined for 2 years in a row due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We will move on to the factor that change demand. First, we have price of cars. When the price of cars is high, people will buy less cars. However, when the price of cars is low, people will buy more cars than before. Based on the diagram, we can see that the demand of the cars increase from D0 to D1. So the effect is the price of cars will increase from P0 to P1, and the quantity also will increase from Q0 to Q1. Next, we have consumers' income. An increase in income increases consumers' purchasing power, thus resulting in an increase in demand. Therefore, this can lead to a rise in the quantity demanded of motor vehicles. When the consumer's income increase, the demand also will increase. So, we can see in the diagram, the demand increased from D0 to D1, and the price also increased from P0 to P1, also the quantity from Q0 to Q1. Then we will move on to the supply and factors that change supply. Supply is defined as the producer's ability and willingness to supply different quantities of goods and services at different possible prices and time range. Although Malaysia is not as advanced as other countries in the adoption of electric vehicles (EVs), the Malaysian Automotive Association (MAA) believes that the EV segment will continue to grow. In 2022, there was an increase of more than 800% in the EV sales volume in Malaysia. One of the factors that change supply is government policy. Government policies consist of taxation and subsidies. When the production of goods is taxed, this increases the cost of production and reduce the amount of profit earned. This will lead to a decrease in supply. As we can see, the supplier will reduce the production and the S-curve will move to the left from SO to S1 and price will increase from PO to P1 and the quantity will decrease from TO to Q1. Last but not least, level of technology. Higher technology levels allow a smaller quantity of resources to be used for production, which reduce the cost of production. When the cost of production is less, the supplier will increase the production. So the S-curve will move to the right from SO to S1 and the price will decrease from PO to P1 and the quantity increase from TO to Q1.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Shyida Zahirah Binti Eddy Rahman. My ID number is 2022297818. So I will continue to the next subtopic, which is elasticity based on automobile market. So elasticity can be defined as when consumers demand for a goods when the price increase, and when the price of goods rise, the demand will be decreased, perhaps when consuming less, substituting other goods, and the demand of the complementary product will be also decrease. And there are four types of elasticity. Firstly, price elasticity of demand. Secondly, income elasticity of demand. Thirdly, cross elasticity of demand, and last but not least, price elasticity of supply. Okay, we go through to the next slide, which is you can see two diagram there. This is what I mentioned for elasticity before. Okay, first of all, you can say this is the elastic demand of elastic because of the price increase, and turns out the percentage of demand will also increase. Second, also you can see the diagram, which is positive and elastic income. Because when the income increase, it turns out the quantity demand also increase. Third, the diagram shown positive cross elastic graph, which is because of the price increase, turn out that the quantity demand also increase. Last but not least, the diagram shown that because there are small change in the price, it's lead larger percentage of the quantity of supply because of the goods has so many substitutes. Next point is market equilibrium. Market equilibrium exists when the quantity demand QD equals quantity supply QS. It can be determined by the intersection between demand and supply curve. So at equilibrium, there is no tendency for the market price to change. There is two types of equilibrium. First of all is equilibrium price. Second is equilibrium quantity. So the price that balance supply and demand, and the quantity is the quantity that balance supply and demand. So based on the diagram that I show in the slide, this is shown the equilibrium is the state in which the market supply and demand balance each other, and as a result, price becomes stable. So when the point of the QS and QD meet, that means we can say that generally there is no oversupply of goods or service, and there is no problem with the price of the goods. And the balancing effect of the supply and demand result in a state of equilibrium. So when we meet the equilibrium, that's mean we found the stable price or balance each other about supply and demand.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi to madam and all my teammates. Okay, first and foremost, my name is Yusuf Bin Zulkifli, holding matrix card 2022226694. So I'm going to explain my part, which is the analysis of the market equilibrium based on factor lead to change in demand and supply to equilibrium price and quantity. Okay, for the bullet A, changes in consumer preferences. If consumer preferences shift towards a product, demand increases. It is leading to a rightward shift in the demand curve. This results in a higher equilibrium price and quantity. So for the bullet B, which is when input costs for producers increases, the supply curve shift leftward, reducing the equilibrium quantity and potentially increasing the equilibrium price. Okay, now I'm going to explain next part, which is the analysis of the market equilibrium based on government intervention in the market. Okay, for the bullet A, when the government sets a maximum price below the equilibrium price, it creates a price link. This leads to excess demand and shortage as the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied at that price. The equilibrium quantity decreases while the equilibrium price is artificially lowered. So for the bullet B, if the government sets a minimum price above the equilibrium price, it creates a price floor. It results in excess supply, which is a surplus, as the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded at that price. The equilibrium quantity increases while the equilibrium price is artificially raised. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
The conclusion and recommendation. The conclusion, the automobile industry is income elastic, where the automobile stock is expected to augment faster than the increase of the income level. From the Wikipedia, we know that the automobile industry in Malaysia consists of 27 vehicles producers and over 640 component manufacturers, and the Malaysian automotive industry is the third largest in the Southeast Asia. And the automobile market can be expanded by improving the overall performance. That's all for me. Thank you.